Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild. I'm Brad Elliott, and along with me, hosting as always, is Mr. Scott Buckwald.
Hello, Brad.
From beautiful Santa Clarita in a garage where we have our studios. And with us today, we are very lucky to have Mr. Jeremy Armstrong.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Jeremy is a property master. This is, I think, we haven't interviewed a property master yet, other than talking to each other.
We've done assistant property masters.
We've done assistant.
Well, we've interviewed each other.
Yeah, so that kind of counts. But that's a little weird.
Yeah.
We shouldn't talk about our interviewing each other. You have done, I'm looking at some of your shows right now on the big TV in our wonderful studio. In
You are Mr. Sitcom.
There it
You
is.
have done a bunch of multicam, which is really cool. It's a discipline I don't know much about. Shifting Gears, Night Court, Call Me Kat, The Connors, Fam, Roseanne, Casey Undercover Girl Meets Word. I could just keep going and going and going. You are a busy person.
Very busy. Blessed, very
New
blessed.
Girl. Are you kidding?
I did the pilot to New Girl. What? And that's an interesting story there.
I can't wait to hear all of them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, and I'm really interested to hear the perspectives on somebody that does multicam, because that's rare for me. I did one pilot once, and and I found it to be, well, that was a weird one too, but it was really exciting. But it's fun to like have a studio audience there, and you're in your show blacks, and you're running the show,
Totally.
and it's like real deal. It's almost a cross between, I don't want to say regular production, but because the audience is there, it's almost a theatrical experience, isn't it?
It's totally a theatrical experience. It's like you're doing a play. It's all in order. You have obviously we shoot the show, pretty much have it in the can before we go to the audience. But
Really?
Oh yeah, we for, let's say, a Friday night shoot, we will shoot all Thursday and pretty much have the show in the can. And a lot of times you pull your best performance with the audience. The actors really thrive on that live energy, the audience, the real audience laughter having to hold before you start your next line.
So you shoot the rehearsal.
Oh yeah.
But you also use it.
Yeah. Well, we rehearse Monday through Wednesday.
Okay.
Then we'll shoot all day Thursday. Then if we have to, we'll do some shooting before the audience.
So when do you have time to prep?
I was just going to ask you that.
That's the hook of the sitcom. It's you're prepping while you're shooting. You really rely on your crew a lot to be on set while you're not there, which is you got to really love your crew and have confidence in your crew. And I've had the best crews. I've been so blessed with amazing people that I don't even have to worry about.
In a sitcom, do you have a lot of props that just repeat episode after episode? Or does each episode always have that one prop that...
There's always that one. I mean, they rarely, with the exception of like computers and backpacks and stuff like that, you usually have one, maybe two big-ins, the ones that keep you up at night.
And you don't work out of a prop trailer?
No. We have offices.
Do you own a prop trailer?
I do not.
Okay.
I've never owned one. On the shows that I've needed them, I've just rented them from someone at ISS.
And podiums. You need
podiums.
podiums.
Yeah, podiums and
Do
chairs.
you have those? Do you carry those?
Yeah, I carry all that. I have a huge kit.
Where do you keep it all?
On stage. I've been fortunate enough
so
to
you've been
go
just
from show
rolling.
to show, moving.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've had 3 kits because of overlap. When you get a show and you get to another one, they never really line up. So I found it in my best interest to have enough to, when I have a couple weeks overlap, I can have a kit on there and not pull from the other show.
Do you envy, because the two of us we work out of a trailer.
Don't envy us.
And we go places. We're not on a stage all the time. Do you wish you could travel more and get out of the stage, or do you find a comfort doing?
Oh no, I have great comfort in being on stage. I mean, I've done all that. I'm not, you haven't seen on there, like we did Entourage. I worked with Tim Schultz on Entourage.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, there it is, 2008.
Oh, yeah, right there you go. And I started my career in sitcoms. I left the business to be a musician and get a job at Sam Goody's and play bass in a band all over LA.
Awesome.
I mean, because I got into this business when I was like 18.
Wow.
And so I didn't know what I had. I mean, I went right from I mean, a funny story if you want to hear my first day in the business.
Yeah,
Okay,
we normally
It better be funny. Start telling.
We normally do the origin story question, and
okay.
you've gotten there before I could ask it. So thanks for.
Okay. So, anyways,
it's the only thing I was going to contribute.
My family moved out. My dad worked in marketing, publicity and marketing, and
For film?
For film, yeah. And he was over at who was he with? I don't remember who he was with in New York when I was 6 years old, 7 years old. Well, he got his big break with Dino De Laurentiis doing the remake of King Kong with Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges.
Wow.
So Dino moved our family out from New Jersey to out in California here. And that was what brought our family here. So, I mean,
Wow.
I've been around the business, but I was a complete lunatic child. I was a long-haired rocker, getting in trouble constantly. I was the child you did not want, but I was always real good. I wasn't like mean to anyone or anything. I just always pushed the envelope. And so
I have a teenager now, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
But my heart was always good. So no one ever hated me, and it wasn't like I was fighting with my parents. I just always got in trouble. I always wanted to.
I lived in the principal's office.
Yeah, exactly.
I know where you're coming from.
But the principal loved me.
Yeah, same here.
But I
Same
lived
here.
in that office. So anyways, my first day where I didn't know where I was going. I had long hair. I didn't really think about a career or anything. And one of my neighbors was executive in charge of production for Carsey Warner. It was a small company
Who did Roseanne.
Right. But at the time, they only did Cosby Show, and they were doing a spinoff called A Different World. And she's like, hey, do you want a job as a PA? I'm like, a PA? Yeah, sure. I don't even know what that is, but yeah. So day one, I drive a motorcycle, a little rice burner, just crazy. And I have hair down to my shoulders, and it's pouring rain out. I mean, torrential rains day one. It's where the LA River behind Universal is at the top, and it's just raging water. Well, so I have to say, Dad, I can't go to my first day of work on a motorcycle. It's pouring rain. I'm supposed to make deliveries, I guess, or do something. So he loans me his little pet project, which was a Jeep CJ7 that he had built up. Wow. It's up high. It's on headers. It's real rough. It's a 3-speed, loud. And that was my ride. So I go to work and I meet with a guy I'll never forget, Bob Christensen. And he was the office manager. And he's like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to run scripts around. You're going to get coffee. You're going to do this. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. And he's like, this is craft service. And boom, to a normie craft service, free food, free drinks. This was the most incredible thing ever. There was freedom. They were fun. Everyone partied a little bit. So it was, for me, it was like, they're going to pay me for this. I would do this for free.
So how did you transition into the world of being a property master?
Well, let me just finish this first day.
Oh, of course.
Sorry, because it gets incredible. Bob Christensen at the end of the day says, hey, Jeremy, we need you to go to stage 8 and pick Lisa up and take her home. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, Lisa who? He's like, Lisa Bonet, the star of the show. I'm like, oh my God, I am not equipped for this. This is Denise Huxtable. First day.
That's a big one.
A big one. And I'm in my dad's Jeep. That is like, I have to.
And isn't Transpo supposed to do that? I think that's like even like your first nice union
not
violation
back then.
there. Oh, I suppose.
We weren't
And you did have
at that time.
you had a top to the Jeep.
No, it was a soft top, so it was loud, and their headers on the side. So if you hit your leg on it, you burn your leg, which many people did on this Jeep. So I drive to the stage. I pick Lisa Bonet up. I help her up into this Jeep. It's pouring rain. She's got all this fan mail and gifts, and it's this awkward, just throwing her around, going over the hill. She, at the time, lived in Venice in a back guest house.
Was she being a good sport about it?
Well, it was that weird, awkward silence for a while, and then she's just reading mail, and then we start talking, and it gets looser, and we start, carrying on. No, it's my first day. Oh, this is great. I loved you and Cosby, all of the silly stuff. And she says, we get to her place. She says, hey, Jeremy, do you get high? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you want to go in and smoke a joint with my boyfriend? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. This is maybe the best day of my life. So I go in to this back house. It's a little place. And there's this black guy in there, and she introduces him as Romeo Blue. And we smoke this joint, and it's pouring, and it's thundering, and it's lightning. And it's really surreal for my first day. And then I start to get really high. And I'm sitting there kind of taking stock. And wait a second, where am I? Lisa Bonet? This dude with dreads, and I'm like, oh man.
And thunderstorms in LA.
Right. And am I about to get killed? And just, the head. And I was like, okay, I get kind of awkward and like, okay, I got to go back to work. Well, Romeo Blue, Lenny Kravitz. So that's who she was dating.
Oh, right.
And that was his name before he changed it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first day, and I was like, when I left the place, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put some time into this business one way or another.
And of course you walked home because nobody's going to
No,
be driving
of course.
under the
I sat in the car
influence.
until I sobered up and got home.
That's a heck of a first day story.
Yeah, first day.
Wow.
And I've been doing it pretty much ever since.
Of course you got hooked into the film
Right?
industry. If every day's like hanging out with Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz.
What happened with Lisa beyond that?
Well-
Did that become a regular thing of you taking her home?
Yeah, no, I didn't. That was the only time I took her home.
There was probably a conversation about the Jeep.
But no, probably. But I learned a really valuable lesson because that I've used throughout my whole career was I became not good friends, but better friends than the normal person with Lisa, the number one on the call sheet. And I noticed that people just treated me differently because of my relationship
Sure.
with her. She was the number one. She liked me. She relied on me.
Some people resent it as much as some people love it.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
And that's happened a lot over my years. But I've really laid into, in my career, making sure I'm real tight with the number ones and twos on the call sheet. And not only just to gain professionally, but I like the vibe of most of the time. Sometimes you run into that outlier on Entourage. I'm not going to name any names, but it rhymes with Jeremy.
People do forget that the stars that we work with and the celebrities that we're around every day are actually also, in addition to all that, they are technically still people.
Sure.
And a lot of them are just really lovely. Some of them are not, just like people are. But
Hey, it's like in that SNL skit, I Need More Cowbell. Bruce Dickinson, he puts his pants on one leg at a time, except he makes gold records.
yeah,
It's the same with these actors. They have all the same insecurities as we do.
Well, it's the one thing I notice when I talk to friends of mine who are not in the business. They'll always ask me about my latest job, and they'll always say, what is so-and-so like? And they always seem a little let down when my response to them is, they're just a person. It's just, It's the guy at work.
Yeah.
I certainly respect their history. Sometimes they've done shows that I'm very much in love with. But at the end of the day, when you're in the room with them and you're just having a talk about politics or music or food or whatever, it's just the guy at work.
Yeah. I mean, I found out on, I was deep into my prop master career, and Tim Schultz, loved the guy, prop master. He got the Kaminsky method, and with Michael Douglas and Alan Alden, and Arkin, excuse me.
Arkin.
And I'm like, I need to get on the show with you. And I'm like, I'll just move director's chairs. I don't care. I've been a prop master for 20 years, but get me on that show.
let me sweep out your truck.
I had just done this season of Roseanne that exploded. And I'm like, I'm doing director's chairs. I just want to be around Michael Douglas. And it was interesting.
All right, so I got to get back to origin
sorry.
story though. No, this is your show, man. I'm just here to.
I can go on, so you guys gonna have to wrangle me in.
That is a fantastic first day. But
First day.
how did you then make your transition to the world of props?
Well, from a different world, I became
How long were you on Different World?
just for the first season,
Okay.
and then we did the pilot of Roseanne, and I was a PA on that, and I did that season as a PA, and it was the greatest. It was so much fun. We didn't know what we had.
It was the original Roseanne.
The original
the
Roseanne,
first
the
go
actual,
around.
yeah. And I was a PA.
The George Clooney Roseanne.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, actually, I have a George Clooney story. You guys might have heard about it, but I heard it original. But we'll circle back to that. But I did Roseanne as a PA, and then we did a show called Carsey Warner. We worked for Carsey Warner. Carsey Warner owned the sitcom world for a while, and in the early 90s and late 90s, I guess. But we did a show called Grand. It was with John Randolph, Pamela Bowen, Bonnie Hunt, Dietrich Bader. It was a big show, but I mean, it was huge. We had so many sets that we had sets on rollers that you roll one out and roll the other one in because the executive producers wanted to shoot everything in front of the audience.
Yeah, and this is for the we have 6 or 7, I think, now, listeners. I think we're up to 7.
Okay,
and,
good. Hey.
For Donnie, you're an idiot. You don't know this yet, but multicam, all the sets are done in front of the audience, whereas on a single camera, you may have multiple stages and there's no accommodation for any kind of an audience in front of them. So
Correct.
with multi, when you've got sets on rollers, it's presumably so you can keep your show in front of your studio audience.
Right, exactly.
And keep
right.
your actors being fed the
Again,
vibe
it's
and all the
being
rest
done
of
like
that.
a play.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're
like-
doing plays,
like
basically.
going to a
Sorry,
show.
Donnie, I didn't mean to call you out for being dumb there, but I knew you didn't know the answer to that one.
And on Grand, well, with Carsey Warner in general, at that time, we were non-union. So we were at Radford.
Really?
Yeah, we were at Radford where we had to use a different gate to get in the lot. So, and I'm not really sure why. There was the writer's strike back then, and I'm not even really sure why, but when we did become union, the union said, this is really weird. It's like, it's the first time we're organizing a company where you guys are going to have to take a slight pay cut to become union. That's
Wow.
how great
You
Carsey
were
Warner
already
was.
overscale
We were
on what you were
overscale,
doing.
and we had great medical, and it was like, but they said, listen, you're going to want to be union moving forward. So we did, but yeah, Carsey Warner was great. But so I got into Grand and I became the lead, but because back then we would do set dressing and props. So I became the lead man, prop assistant, and that's how I got into the business.
Now, when you say you became, was it something you sought out, or did someone just pretty much bestow that upon you?
Well, they asked me, I don't remember who, I think it was Marcy, Carsey, or it was really a family-driven company. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like having fun. This is great. They're like, well, why don't you try to get into, props? And, I liked the guys on the Roseanne show, Drew Ogier and FX. And it would seem fun. You touch things, you interact with the actors. And I was always fascinated by the actors. I always thought I could be an actor, but that went horribly wrong. I had a show written for me, a part written for me.
Wow.
And I bombed it, but it was bad.
But you stepped up to the plate and you took a swing.
And
And a lot of people don't do that.
well, yeah.
So good on you.
Yeah, that was another story that we could get into at some point. But anyways, we did Grand, and I loved it. And then I decided I wanted to play music. So I left the business for a couple years to play bass. I got a job at Sam Goody's, and I was crazy like that. I surround myself. If I was in, I was 100% in. And so I surrounded myself with playing music.
And when is this? What year is it?
Gosh, I don't know. Let's see where Grand is. 1990. So
Okay.
Probably 91. And I did that for a few years. Our band got pretty big in LA. And
What was the band?
It was called Stomping Ground. We were an 80s kind of like hair metal / alternative grungy type.
Was your hair
situation.
still long?
Yeah, it was real
Okay.
long down here.
It's a lot to take care of. I had long hair for a minute.
And
so did
curly
I.
hair too. My hair's curly, so it's like, yeah, it's a whole situation.
Because I was totally into that whole music scene of the early 90s.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
why I'm
you
trying-
probably saw us around.
We used to go to FM station a lot.
Yeah, we played FM Station, the Country Club, Roxy, Troubadour. Gazzari's was our favorite when it was Gazzari's. Now I don't know what it is now, but yeah. So I left that business for a while, and my dad was with Dino, and then he left to go do all the publicity and marketing for Universal. So he was doing like E.T., Close Encounters. I just thought that was normal for families.
Wow.
That was, yeah. And I would sell shirts because he would make the swag and stuff. And I would go out. That's back when at the Chinese, you'd have these long lines out front. And I have boxes of my dad's stuff. So I always worked. So I'm like, I'm going out and I'm selling these shirts to the people waiting in line.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So, yeah. And then I was working for my dad. He was doing a body of evidence with Madonna, and my cousin's wife, who was an exec over at Paramount, said, "Hey, do you want to go to Thailand to do a movie?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Hell yeah. I want can I take my base?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So I guess I'm somewhat of a force hire.
So this is bringing you back into
Bringing
the
me
film
back
business
into
now.
the business, exactly. So I'm somewhat of a, I mean, I guess force. I don't know. I didn't know anything, and I wasn't
doing what?
props.
Okay.
Props on a film out with a hunter, but it was Fred Dreyer, and this is where I met Nick Caparelli, who I worked for, Rick's dad, who was the greatest. So I met Nick out in Thailand, and he gives me the once over, and we start prepping the show. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing out there, but I'm having a blast. And Nick was a great guy. He really showed me a lot. And, old school prop master. You mess up, you get yelled at and stand in the corner type stuff.
Yeah, and the Caparellis, just as context, are that's an old name in props, and Rick Caparelli is one of his two sons.
Yep,
set decorator,
running a lot of the operations at ISS.
Yeah.
I don't know what the official title is.
I think he's vice president.
They've definitely mixed some things up since Greg Jr. left.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the Caparellis, that's a big name.
Oh yeah, and Nick was great. I mean, I had so much fun with, and I learned so much from him. And this particular show, it was amazing. We were supposed to go out, and we had tons of weapons, full automatic M60s with grenade launchers, Uzis, M16s, the whole lot. And the Thai government was supposed to handle everything. We were not supposed to touch anything. Well, it so happens day one, we're out in the jungle, and about hour 15, the guy in charge of the guns is like, "Look, we're tired." He's like, "Jeremy, take this duffel bag, load all the weapons in it, and just take it to your hotel. We're out of here." And from that point on, I handled the weapons the whole time.
Wow.
And this was the time when they let anyone use these guns in our business. There was no need for an armor or nothing. And while we were out there, two major things happened. Brandon Lee was killed in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. It was right around that time when all the gun laws changed. But at this time, it was wide open. I mean, I remember there was one day where we had all this amazing, scaffolding put up, but like bamboo, like the indigenous people of this movie put up in these caves into the walls. And we had hundreds of extras. And Nick got food poisoning the night before, so he was out. He wasn't there. I was there with Farong, who was the Thai prop master, and kind of a language barrier, but we were just loading full rounds into these. My thumbs were bloody from just loading. And we had guns to all kinds of extras. And you would just hear people walking around. I mean, it's frightening to think back now, but it was like, I just had head down working.
And was it legal for you to
I don't know.
Walking around with these in there?
I honestly don't know.
Certainly was not anywhere near current industry practice.
No, right. No. Currently, no. Of course not.
One of my first jobs, I was working in New York, and the stuntman, who was also our armorer, couldn't be there one day. Same thing. So he gives me all the guns, a bunch of M16s, I remember, some handguns, and he goes, "Scott, you got this." So my mode of transportation back and forth to set is a subway train.
Oh, my God.
So I go to set. All the guns are there. This guy, Steve, hands everything off to me. But I go home that night, and I had to take the subway. And I remember he left me a big black overcoat. So I would have, guns strapped to my back, wearing an overcoat. And I'm thinking, if there was ever a day where I want someone to give me shit on the subway, today is the day.
Just throw off the coat. And then you're in a gun battle, and you have nothing but blanks.
It's just blanks. Shooting blanks the whole way.
Just to put that into perspective.
Yes.
You've got a very impressive set of noisemakers.
Yeah, which hopefully was enough to scare them away.
But it's interesting. That one day really defined me farther down the road with these particular company, because Nick was sick, and I just put my head down, didn't complain, just did everything I could do. And the producer saw it. And at the end of the show, during the wrap party, they came up to me. We're in the pool. Everyone's drinking. We're in Phuket, because that was where we ended the show. We were there for a month, and we were in Thailand for 4 months total. But and they came up and they said, "Hey, Jeremy, we just want to take you aside." I thought I was in trouble, and they're like, "We really saw you step up a lot here when you needed to, without complaining, without trying to throw anyone under the bus, just putting your head down and really doing what you need to do. And we just wanted to let you know we appreciate that, and that's a great job done." And I really like that. And
It's nice when they catch you doing something right.
yeah,
Because it's really easy to catch people doing something wrong.
yeah.
And
Which
it's
is so much this business.
It
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
it's become a management technique of my own to make sure that, and actually a parenting technique that I use too, because I've got a couple kids, is like to remind myself to catch people doing things that are right and giving them that
100%.
feedback.
Positive feedback is so much more.
By the way, you're doing so great, don't you think, Scott?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
doing
I haven't-
really well
I haven't
on
hit the spring- I
podcast?
haven't hit the
we
spring
haven't-
once.
Yeah, we have a little spring that makes some noise. Why don't you hit the spring so we can hear it? Just this is the. Yeah, that's
no,
that's the spring on the microphone.
You won't get that
telescope
out of
and
And if
me,
you step
so.
over line, you get the spring.
Yeah, and we haven't had to ring
Yeah,
the spring
yeah.
once.
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, if you guys would loosen up the handcuffs, I might have a shot at it.
So that's film work. But you said that right now you are all about multicam.
All about multicam.
So what is it about multicam that is so appealing to you?
Well, the schedule. The schedule's fixed. So we have set days. Monday we'll have our production meeting, and they'll do their read through, and usually that's it for the day. So that's a day that I can really prep. Or obviously I've been prepping prior to it as much as possible if I have a script. I mean, the sitcom's tough. There's no time. There's not a lot of money generally, and it's just back to back to back.
Well, you're not getting a trailer rate, but how about you
get a kit rental.
The kit rental. Is the kit rental similar to what it is in the feature or single cam world?
No, I mean, what do you guys get for your trucks?
We're trying to build this right now. This
yeah.
has been a new initiative, so I'm actually glad you brought this up because we were starting to realize that maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago, if you're getting $1,200 for your truck and your kit, you're probably doing okay. There were certainly prop masters getting more than that, but I would say that the average, and there's other people in the room here who can jump in on this, but it feels like that's about where we were. And if you start looking at a special effects trailer, and this is not at all to diminish the accomplishments of our special effects friends, a base kit rental for a trailer and kit there is like $3,500 a week, which is a great rate. But every time they pull off an E-fan or a fogger or whatever, there's also a rental invoice in a lot of cases. And I don't want to say every time because this is an industry where this is all still fluid. So we're trying to bring ourselves into parity with that. So I would say now, if you're asking that question, and every prop master listening, please up your kit and truck rates. Probably in the high $1,750 to $2,000.
Yeah, I was 18 on my last.
Yeah,
So-
we don't get close to that for that.
But the truck is a lot of it.
Sure.
And the capacity in a trailer is also, even though every trailer is obviously different for every property master, it's a huge piece of gear because you need it to go on location, to roll out.
It's so unappreciated and so undervalued.
sure.
And
For
it's,
sure.
So that's about the number these days. So I don't know if it's comparable
we do maybe 500 if you're lucky.
Okay.
But I limit what they get for 500. And,
Good.
And that's a standard kit.
What do they get for 500? Can I ask that question?
Oh, absolutely. My standard kit for the normal rate is I'll give them like 8 podiums. I'll give them 12 director's chairs. And
Donnie, the podiums. I know we've mentioned this before. Donnie's our imaginary listener. Podiums are for the first ADs to stand at. It's like a lectern kind of a thing. Like a box.
It's a rolling table basically.
Yeah.
They can put their purse, whatever, their script on top. We have lights on top.
It's just
of it,
where
so
they
you can see-
live
it's
when
your
they're
little,
on the stage.
Your little space of the stage.
And it rolls so
It
that they
rolls.
can go from set to set to
Exactly
set. Even
right.
though they're still in front of the same studio audience, these are usually laid out, with 4 sets just along a line, something like that.
And they're primarily for when we're rehearsing is when
Yeah.
they're really mostly used, because once you get the booms and the cameras on, there's no room for all the
there's no room
podiums
for
to
all
get
the
pushed back,
podiums.
except for Video Village. The
Sorry to.
No,
to
that's
jump in.
okay.
So
So I
you've
give
got 8 podiums. You've got
How many chairs?
About 12 chairs. I mean,
That's it?
I have hundreds of chairs. No, that's my standard kit for what they get at that rate. And then, of course, they're going to need more chairs. So then we do a separate rental for those.
And do you ever get pushback where they feel like they give you one rate so they own everything that you own?
Well, no, because I just rent it from someone else. So it's not associated to me. So that's how, so they don't come down. Look, if you want more chairs for the actors, I'll get you as many as you want.
Yeah, my kit is 12.
But my kit is 12,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's a tough one, too, because chairs are expensive. They're expendables because they break.
Yeah.
They just don't last. And they take up a lot of room, too. It's a storage liability.
How many do you carry with you?
I now am at, God, I don't even really know. I'm probably at 30.
Okay, I carry
2 dozen to 30, something like that.
Yeah, I carry 24 with me, and I usually have another 6. I carry some small ones that I keep in the belly.
The only stuff I keep in the belly now are the telescope chairs, which are the wood director's chairs that everybody recognizes as such. My crew, with no uncertain terms, has asked for the aluminum camping chairs.
Of course.
In fact,
That's all I have now.
I even just chopped one of my chair carts down to accommodate just those chairs because it was built for taller chairs. And
well, I have a lot of the wood chairs still, and there's a reason why. Now, if on sitcoms, we just supply them, we don't touch them. That's the beauty of it.
PA's move.
But you also just set them up once, and then you could walk away from them. Where we're constantly
for sure.
We're loading them onto a cart, moving them, and putting them on and off a truck.
No, that's the only reason. I mean, I also have aluminum, but the only reason I still carry wood is because I don't touch them.
You don't move them. Yeah.
And, you know, some people
prefer
love them. Yeah.
And that's why I carry at least half a dozen, because also when EPK comes, the electronic press kit.
My dad created that.
Wow.
He didn't make any money from it, but he was the first.
But he was the first. Wow, that's
on the
impressive.
movie Orca.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason I carry. Your dad is the reason I carry.
Dad is
because you're doing those interviews and they like to be in the classic,
see the classic
tall
chair.
chair
exactly,
where you're up and it's better for posture and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's boring stuff. Podiums and chairs. What other kit do you have?
Tons of bins of everything. I'm confident that you could ask me for anything on just the dime, and I
Blue
can
coffee
it.
cup.
Easy.
Watches, rings.
Yeah, watches, umbrellas,
wallets,
puppets.
You have puppets.
Of course.
I want to
Who
hear
doesn't have
bit.
puppets?
No.
You don't want to open that door.
No, I have puppets. And
do you have any idea who you're talking to right now?
The key is we made these puppets too because we've had so much problem with trademarks and stuff. So we know we own the likeness.
I actually have a puppet inventory myself, and I rent them out and sometimes sell them because I own the characters. I own the likenesses, and there's a lot of value there.
Big time.
Are you a puppeteer? How'd you end up with puppets?
No. I just through working on Disney shows. You go through a lot of stuff like that.
I gotta see some of your puppets. I'm interested.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
I'll show you.
The next issue of Prop Culture is a special puppet issue.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Which may be out by the time this podcast is released.
It should
just
be
about
out like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is coming out in about 2 weeks.
Gosh, I don't know. We had some great ones. I don't know if I inventoried them or what. Some tater tot puppets were great.
Awesome.
A guy, Michael White, made them for me.
Where do you keep them?
Incredible. Well, these particular ones, I'd have to look at my kit. I don't remember if I still have those. I might have had to turn those ones in to Disney when we were done, but it was amazing.
Because puppets don't last forever. They're made out of foam and the glues generally get more brittle and they degrade over time.
True.
Anybody that's ever opened up like a couch cushion, take the cover off,
all that.
and you see that sort of crusty yellow in there. If you've got old furniture like I do, that stuff started out Snow White, and it's just always in a process of eroding and oxidizing if it's got contact with air.
But with puppets, they're brought to a farm where they can go and live the rest of their lives.
Yes, they're given legs.
Yeah,
because mostly they don't have them, and then they can go frolic.
That's true.
Just backing up just a little bit as we're getting into the sitcoms. How long did you do film until you made that switch, or when you got back from?
I did that film. Then, gosh, what films did I do? You know what? I got with Matt Cavallero when he was just starting out, who I love. I think he is probably that I know of, one of the most talented guys I've ever worked with. I mean, incredible what he does. You guys had him here, right? Yeah. And I learned so much from him. His temperament is just so calm and cool. He did, what was the movie he did that we started? It was with Patrick Dempsey, and it probably not even on there for me. But I was an assistant with him, and he was great. And yeah, I did a show called Selfie, which was a single camera show, but not a lot of movies. The only single camera stuff was like, yeah, Selfie. New Girl was single camera.
New Girl was single camera.
Yeah, Entourage was single camera.
But Entourage was out and about a lot.
All of it except for Ari's office was on
Were you
location.
prop mastering
No,
them?
no.
Okay.
I was assistant.
And somebody probably had a trailer then.
Yeah, oh yeah, Tim Schultz had an amazing trailer, and Jim Landis was his on-set prop master, one of the best. Just
So you have never owned a truck?
Never.
That is
Never.
amazing, because like
It's so part of our
mine is a
identity.
1990 Fruhoff, right? And it's got the same gate problem that everybody has, and that they don't make that cylinder anymore, and you have to get them. And the gear, anybody that has and rents out gear will understand that there's a lot of wear and tear. And even though, like, our tires, a full round of tires on my truck is probably $3,200, something
almost
like
it's
that.
almost 4,000.
Depending.
wow.
And every 10 years.
And
Every
it,
10
or
years,
or
yeah.
sooner, depending on where you're parked, and because it's not like we're wearing the tread off these things. I mean, in
Right,
10
it's
years,
just
a,
wear.
a
Right.
prop
It's
dealer's
all
maybe
because they've
getting
been
5,000 miles,
sitting in the
Right.
sun.
It's
but
like
they start to crack and degrade, and the
And if you're going,
inspections are
if you're going
expensive.
out of town, you have to change them because you'll get stuck in a way station.
the one time I rented that truck for Selfie, man, the whole time was a liftgate problem.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, we throw out these numbers, and it's like, oh, well, they have this gear and they're getting
And we have
almost
to keep them
$2,000 for
and we have
it.
to keep them insured now
But
too.
yeah, we're,
Right, right.
we're carrying anywhere from $2,400 to
Jeez.
$4,000 a year in insurance. You've got, all the equipment struggles that you can have with electrics and with generators, and it's like I was helping Teresa Corvino with her back door that just didn't want to close quite right, and I'm out there with an angle grinder, like
Oh,
taking
God.
serious amounts of
Yeah.
steel off this
Yeah,
thing to
right.
get it to
Right
shut
now,
right. And
my
It
thing
just
is
shifted or something.
all of the seals and the doors on my jockey boxes. I need to replace it all, and I just don't want to put out the cash right now.
Yeah.
So if anybody's thinking that we're rolling in cash because we're throwing out these weekly rental numbers, it really is, and you're also taxed at a 1099 rate on that too.
100%. 100%.
It's really nice to. I'm glad you don't have that burden, because as much as it's nice to have a trailer and it's a good home base and it becomes sort of you're almost like another crew member because of
100%.
what it does for you.
Also, for me, whenever I'm out of town, my trailer really makes me feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
When I'm in my trailer, when I'm out of town, especially if it's a middle of nowhere kind of location, I love going to my trailer on the weekends. It's my space. I have my music there. I have my stuff there. And a lot of times it is my little prop cave that I like going to on the weekend. And I do feel at home there.
That's interesting because I feel the same way in my offices. Like we've been down on shifting gears for between season 2 and 3 now for almost 6 months. And I'll go out to Disney and go into that office and just kind of diddle with things and play on
Just
the
have the space.
workstation and just open the drawers and look. And
So what was your first property master job?
my very first property master job was we went and did Land's End. And
Okay, so this is early in your career.
Oh yeah, I went down with Nick Caparelli
Yeah.
and a guy named Sammy Loreno, who was
Okay.
his on-set first. And we were doing super hard show. It was 6 days a week. It was at Cabo, but I was young, long hair, fun. Every 4 days, a new batch of sorority girls were coming down. Hey, come on by the set. Let us show you.
And you
So
were
it was
prop
great.
master of that.
No, well, I became
Oh, you became.
eventually.
Okay.
Sammy and I, Nick got sick.
Gotcha.
He got real sick, so he had to go back to the States.
Okay.
And so
So you sort of inherited that show.
they co-prop mastered Sammy and I.
Because
And I
then
didn't
you
know-
were doing a lot of assisting after that.
Right, exactly.
So when was your first, I guess the
When did you become
first
the prop
time that
master
you
and
were
never
the
looked
prop
back?
master and stopped assisting?
I started doing on Center of the Universe.
Okay.
That was John Goodman with Gene Smart. Oh, listen to this cast. John Goodman, Gene Smart, Dietrich Bader, Al Ed Asner.
Wow.
I loved Ed Asner.
He was the greatest guy.
I
Loved
loved
him.
Ed
Oh
Asner.
man, he was a firecracker too.
And was this a multicam or was this?
Yeah,
single?
this was a multicam.
Okay. And so this probably started your
This started
current era of multicam.
Right. Oh, look at that cast.
Oh, Olympia
Asner.
Dukakis.
Olympia Dukakis. And I met a producer that I started working for, Barry Halley, who's now an executive with Warner Brothers. And her and I really hit it off and saw things the same way. And she believed in me and trusted me. And we just started, after that, we did a huge run of pilots that just never picked up. And we did a lot of them.
Back when they did pilots.
Yeah. And that's where we did 3 pilots at once. Oh, look at that picture. Wow.
So did you grow your kit then?
Yeah.
Slowly in that
Slowly.
period?
Slowly.
Buying podiums, renting them first and then buying them?
To be honest, I don't know how I have so many podiums and chairs
Yeah,
and
8
all
podiums
this
is
stuff.
a lot of podiums.
No, I have more podiums. I have at my house probably another 8.
You're a podium hoarder, maybe.
Hey man, when you're doing,
Do you remember ever buying a prop chair in your life?
yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I don't
Never.
think I've ever bought a chair. They always
Me
seem to
neither.
just
I
get
my
added into
first-
my kit.
My first
Same.
set of prop chairs, yes.
I bought wooden chairs from there was some prop house that's not around anymore, but I bought a bunch of them. They were like $10 each, wooden chairs.
yeah.
And I bought about 24 of them.
I think I picked up 12 wooden talls and a prop cart from Mr. Greg Finnan.
Okay.
Who remains a good friend of mine, for like $500.
But since then, every time a chair has gone its way, production
It's
buys a
just
new
chairs that
chair,
show
and
up,
yeah,
yeah.
just
yeah.
Actually, no, I recently just bought a bunch of chairs.
Whoa,
I'm
that's
a chump.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
My
really.
friend Bethany Barton, who's a lovely set decorator currently working on Fallout, had a brief foray into being a property master on the Muppets Mayhem. And I'm sorry, Bethany, I set you up on that one, and I know it was rough. She decided never to be a property master again and was trying to get rid of her chairs and a cart, and calling it a cart is generous. But I was happy to help her out because I was starting Abbott Elementary, which has 2 main stages that we're always on, and I was just like, for my crew, and because we do a lot of company moves, it's just across the lot, but it's still, I just wanted another set of chairs on that stage so that my team never had to push a chair cart. One set is on this stage, one set's on that stage.
We do that all the time. Yeah.
yeah, I've done that before.
So that was how I managed that.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
So when you became pretty much full time doing sitcoms, did you ever look back, or were you from the moment you started doing it, you were like, this is where I'm staying?
Yeah. Well, because I had a taste of it early, that I knew I was like, this is where I would like to eventually end up. And so we did Land's End, or the Cabo show. Yeah, Land's End. And I came back to Roseanne just to visit, say hi to my buddies. And Roseanne's like, Jerbo. My name was Jerbo. It was like, Jerbo, babe, we love you. That was the thing. So Roseanne seems to, Jerbo, where the hell have you been? I'm like, oh, yeah, I was in Mexico doing a show. I was prop mastering down there. She's like, we just got a new prop master. T. Barrett's the prop master, and you're working here now. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you're going to work for T. Barrett. I'm like, okay, I'm free. And boom, I was back with Roseanne and doing props. I was assistant again.
Okay.
But I had this, I understood how prop mastering was, and the freedom of not being tied to the set all the time. It was nice.
Now that you're talking about Roseanne and tying a couple things in where you say, we look at them as people.
Yeah.
We look at them as people because we're working with them as people, where sometimes the rest of the world does not. So kind of case in point, when Roseanne had her big incident.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because here's somebody as a person, and you probably know that what is being taken either out of context
100%.
or it's not the Roseanne that and you see the world condemning her and you see her whole career falling apart. Do you need to stay away from that, or had you become a friend where at least do you acknowledge it, or how do you handle that kind of tragedy on a set?
That was wild because that show premiered, and it premiered so huge.
Right, it was big. It was just like the old days for that show. And it had the original
This
cast.
is the Connors?
No.
Roseanne
Oh, the
reboot.
new Roseanne.
The
Yeah,
reboot of
reboot.
Roseanne. It
After she
became
got
the Connors.
canceled.
Yeah.
It was huge, and we were all so excited, and I'll never forget it. I was doing a about to do a show and tell on a show with director, had everything laid out, and I get a text that Roseanne makes some racial comments about something, and then 30 seconds before, the Roseanne show's canceled. And I'm like, just get like cold, and like because we're so high on it, we think we have the biggest show.
How long had the show been on at this point?
They hadn't even aired anything. Hold it.
No, they.
Oh yeah, they know.
Yeah.
They did the first season.
Yeah,
but
it was,
right.
We were thinking we had a great 6-7 year run coming, and it all died. But to answer your question, yeah, I knew Roseanne real well, and I immediately talked to her when I could. She was obviously getting a lot of calls and blocking whatever, texting whatever, and I knew her well enough to know that it's being taken out of context.
And she must have just been devastated by it.
Devastated. I mean, she was a totally different person that you were talking to, and she wasn't the same. She was crushed by this because first, we know her so well. She's not racist. She doesn't have a racist bone in her. Really doesn't.
And she
But she's a
probably
comedian.
and she probably hates the world seeing her this way.
100%.
No one wants to be
It was
seen
just
that
the
way.
time. It was the time. It got caught up. It got blown up. No one was really looking out for everybody. Kind of. I mean, I love everyone on the Roseanne Connors. All of them I grew up with, so they're like family to me. She felt like she needed people to step up for her, and not a lot of people did. I mean, I understand why, because if you did, you are now approving what she said.
Well, the same thing happened to Kathy Griffin when she made the Donald Trump thing about cutting off his head or whatever.
Right.
Everybody just walked away from her. Nobody supported her.
Oh, and I was getting calls from every news agency to try to get interviews with me. And I texted Roseanne. I said, Roseanne, do I say anything? Everyone's coming to me because I was on record with the show. And she's like, Jerbo, just don't say anything. And so I honored it and didn't say anything. But
it seems like she's slowly starting to reappear now.
oh yeah, she just did a show. She actually called me, and I think it was in Austin, but she says, Jerbo, no money, it's going to be really hard. And I'm like, no, Rosie, I'm not coming out there.
you're saying all the exact wrong things.
Exactly. And we can't pay you anything. It's like, okay.
But then it became the Connors.
No. This is a show
new
that's
No.
gonna be coming out.
When Roseanne went away.
Absolutely. And Sarah Gilbert, who is great and I love, she's like a sister to me. She took it on and she made it happen. She really, without her, it's
How
dead.
so?
She came up with the Connors and she didn't want to let it die. She came up with the bringing back Roseanne. It was her idea.
Wow.
And she was like, okay, how do we figure this out? And they ended up buying Roseanne out. And if you look at the set, there's all the family pictures, but none with her in it.
Because they would have to pay her to be
her
to see
likeness
her
would
image.
be in
They bought her out. And it's really sad because she that was her. It was her show. And,
Right.
And I mean, I talk about the sweetheart deal. Matt Williams, he created the show. He got fired like 6 episodes into season 1 of Roseanne, the original. And he's been paid every episode through 10 years of Roseanne, 7 years of the Connors.
Yeah, if anybody is out there thinking about
create a
directing
show.
a pilot,
Get to first.
direct a pilot
Or
create a show.
Yeah.
Even so, and I don't know if everybody knows about this, but the pilot being the very first episode of whatever, to see if it's going to work. If you are the director of that pilot, every episode of that show in
Is
perpetuity,
yours.
you get a piece
yeah.
of
Yep.
in residuals.
That's why you see in our world, there were a couple bigwig directors. It was Jimmy Burrows and it was Andy Ackerman and Pam Bowen. No, not Pam Bowen. Sorry, Pam. I'm forgetting her last. Anyways, but they would just do tons of pilots.
Yeah.
Just pilot after pilot, and
because even if you just hit 1 of 10,
yeah, exactly, it's worth
you're
it.
paid for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Just play the numbers game.
Why don't property masters get residuals?
I know, we really should.
contribute. What the hell?
Well, that's another thing I wanted. I one of the big notes I put in here that I really, really have had problems with that everyone just kind of glosses over, but it's this whole notion that we are below the line and that's an accepted term, below the line. Like we're lesser than, and I just, my whole career, I've always had something against that. It really irked me.
There's something insulting.
100%.
Because it's called below the line.
Below.
I don't know whether it was intended to be
Whatever it
insulting,
is.
but it's definitely become a class
That's a good
distinction.
point. I really haven't. I mean, I've heard the term for my whole life, but I haven't really thought of it as being so diminutive. But
It is.
Oh,
100%.
I have.
Oh, yeah. And I've made my career.
Well, of course you have, Scott. I'm just catching up, man.
Because
Give
you're
me a
below
break
the line,
here,
bro.
okay?
I never liked being
Just been-
referred to as below the
I've just
line.
been under this line the whole time, and I didn't think it was weird. But here I am. now.
I refuse to accept it. So
Yeah.
I talk to executive producers and directors and actors as if I'm equal because I know I'm equal. Like I said, we talked about earlier, we have the same insecurities. You make more money than me, and that's fine. But we are equal. So my job's as important as your job is.
And I want to throw out there, the more that I'm, getting into, deep involvement with the Property Masters Guild, and obviously I'm one of the 3 co-chairs on the awards committee doing our MacGuffin Awards every year. The whole point of that is to stand up and point to ourselves a bit, which property masters are not good at, the whole self-promotion aspect of it, but to talk about ourselves in terms of designers, and that, in my opinion, goes beyond some of, like, on some of the bigger movies I've been lucky to do, there's a lot of illustration, and because we know we're not going to shop it, right? That's the obvious design and fabrication part of our job. But I would also like to throw out that even going shopping for something or finding the thing that helps support the character, whether it be a suitcase that they're carrying to the airport with a bunch of flowers on it says something more than
so
a Louis
important
Vuitton
that you're
says.
bringing this up.
And so I believe that we design by curation. I know that that's kind of a clumsy phrase, and if anybody can clean that up for me, especially our 7 listeners, please. We're open for pitches. Please send them along.
But this is the conversation that'll get us listeners number 8 and 9.
Yeah,
100%,
Well, I figure
100%.
every time we do a show, we might get one more. That's my thought. But anyway, design through curation. We meet with.
I should have checked the
I think
numbers
we're up to
before I
11.
came.
We're up to 11?
Yeah, we're up to 11.
Holy, Scott, it's your charm mostly, and my prattle. But designing through curation, designing through illustration is all design. And the Property Masters, in almost all the projects I work on and have talked to people about, we interface with our directors in the case of films who make all the determinations. In the case of television, it's usually more the showrunners and some of the head writers for that episode. But we're in one-on-one conversations with those folks saying, hey, is this right? Do you think it's this? Is this character in this direction? And we're making those determinations, and still our credits are buried down low.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not part of that. I would love to see in my lifetime in the opening credit roll,
100%.
where
I've
the
always
costume
thought that.
designer, the production designer are up front. I would
that's why
love to see us getting an up front.
And that's why we need to somehow get some kind of designer type title attributed to our job.
And that's part of the ongoing dialogue, I think, that we need to start all having with each other.
For sure.
We have an
because
old-
property master
It's an old
is a
title.
very antiquated term.
Right. It's an antiquated term, and we're pulling along an antiquated approach and attitude towards our department.
Well,
and that's why.
Yeah, and I think you'll ask yourself, how did we get director's chairs? It had to be a guy that early in the time was kissing some butt, and it's like, hey, can I get your chair for you
Right, and it's
to
stuck.
assure a job? And it stuck. But that's kind of.
But it's the same thing with the lecterns that you're moving along. How does that have anything
Yeah.
to do with a creative position?
right. No, for sure.
That's why I would be first to advocate for dumping chairs. And I know
Yep,
people
me too.
come
100%.
out against that because they say, well, it's one more thing that the department has, which means you can staff up a little more. And I've never in my career
Right, yeah,
ever
but-
said, oh, and I need somebody for the chairs.
Right.
But
And had
also-
a producer say, oh, well, yes, of course you do.
Whenever people say, don't give up the work, I've always advocated, let's get rid of the chairs and take on something new. There's plenty of new technology. We should be doing all the graphics on the computers, everything on cell phones, all should be props.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of the chairs and take stuff on.
right. Don't give up the work. Well, yeah.
But let's take on the work.
Right. Take on the work, because don't give up the work is more of a below the line mentality. And
Yeah.
we're
Well,
not below
I'm
the line.
hoping that the MacGuffin Awards, and in the first pitch that went to the board, it was talking about, this isn't about a trophy on a mantle. This is about us standing up to the greater industry and saying we matter, we are important, and we create. We contribute creatively to the work that we are part of in a way that shouldn't just be property master. I would love the idea of property designer or prop designer or something like that.
Well, I've said it before when I interview, and I always kind of excuse it by saying, I know this sounds a little corny, but I will tell the producer or showrunner that I regard myself as the production designer of the property department. Yeah. That they could expect more from me than just somebody taking things off of the shelves. Right. And I said, I don't know who you've worked with.
That's not a just. I don't want to diminish curation and the design of curation.
Right. But I let people know that I don't know what your preconceived notions of my position are, but when you have me, you have somebody who's going to do for you what the costume designer does, what the production designer does, and what your DP does.
And the decorator, too.
And the decorator.
And the decorator, yeah.
But they generally work a little more hand in hand with the designer and take a lot of that lead. Although I've known many, many talented decorators who do have their own meetings with the director about the direction that a set should go
in sitcoms, that happens all the time.
You know, I just want to take a moment and thank our sponsor because, we're sitting in a room here with a bunch of folks that are passing 50 years old, and time. I don't know about you, Scott, but it's done its lovely, lovely dance on my face. And I'm starting to notice in the mirror that I'm getting some of those Gandalf eyebrows, the ones that just go a little crazy. So I'm very happy to announce our sponsor's been helping me out. It's Brow Trim brand eyebrow trimmer. It's a fabulous all-in-one product. It recharges quickly, and in under 30 seconds, I can tame my Gandalf eyebrows. So, folks, if you're out there looking in the mirror and your eyebrows are just getting a little out of hand,
and grooming means anything to you,
and you do want to represent yourself, I would recommend trying Brow Trim brand eyebrow trimmers, and who are sponsoring today.
I'm not sure you've seen my eyebrows, but
they hide beautifully behind those glasses. Now we're all
those
just
are the eyebrow
at each other's
trimmers.
eyebrows. And if you also would like to become a sponsor of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild, please do reach out to info@propertymastersguild.org. That's info@propertymastersguild.org. And we will be happy to talk about how wonderful your product is on our show.
And tell them Brad sent you.
And tell them Brad sent you. Hey, Brad, with the lovely eyebrows. I actually haven't used it today. I'm a little now self-conscious.
I wasn't going to say anything.
We're all just staring at each other's eyebrows in this room, by the way. If you ever really want to make a party uncomfortable, let's talk about runaway eyebrows.
Let's dim the lights, please.
I need to. Scott's a tough one because he's got a baseball hat on, kind of low right now.
That's nice. They're well groomed.
You did a good job.
I use it.
Yeah. Well,
I actually have the car adapter.
Oh, you do?
It's great.
So if you're stuck in traffic?
When you're stuck in traffic, and everybody else is getting frustrated and annoyed, I'm just sitting there, and it doesn't even make a zzz noise. It's just silent.
It's
just wonderful.
Making sure you're going
to. It doesn't nick.
It doesn't.
It's wonderful.
Wow. Well, this is why we wanted to push it today. And thank you again, Brow Trim, for sponsoring today's prop.
Don't forget to use code PMG to get 10% off.
Oh.
And a free car charger.
I don't know that we can have that code. We'll have to talk to.
We'll guilt him into it.
We'll just jack the price up 10% and then knock it down with that. That'll be good. Sorry. So you're living now in multicam. I have a question about how, because I'm a property master that likes to be there on set as much as I can be. How much of that are you able to do? Like, when you have the studio audience or your final rehearsal, are you there in show blacks running around and setting props?
I'm not in show blacks, but I'm generally there. Look, for us, there's a lot of monotony, a lot of rehearsing. So I hate being on set for rehearsals a lot of the time. It's just because of the monotony, and I don't have any time. Yeah. That's my time to prep a lot of times. So
how big are your crews?
We generally always have on-set prop master and an assistant for them. And then if it's a big episode, we will do what we need to do. So
and are they called on-set prop master? Is that the title that you're using?
Assistant prop master.
And do you carry the whole crew, or do certain people get days off?
They get days. Well, no, my assistant gets carried during hiatus. Okay. And the third comes in usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So now, they have one prep day.
Do you cycle through a lot of people who want to have a full-time job?
No.
That's not hard keeping a
no, they
crew?
love it. They love it. It's because you hit some weird like tax thing with 2 to 3 days that you make more than you would like 4 days almost.
Oh,
or,
interesting.
or close to the same amount. So they kind of like it. I mean, I did when I was on Entourage. I loved being 3 days a week, just doing big extra days. It was super fun. So no, I've had the same crew. I've been lucky.
So it's you plus 2 usually?
Yes.
That is tight. So
That's
you're
tight,
really
Oh,
getting
and
everything.
and the third is only 3 days a week.
It's only 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a very
It's
snug, tight.
Oh
group of
yeah,
people.
and see, I look at what you guys do, and a lot of times I get imposter syndrome because I mean the stuff you guys do is incredible.
I still, by the way, fully
yeah,
have
I-
imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Every single
every
time.
Every time I'm walking to set, and I have all of these props on me, and I have a truck full of stuff, and I'm out of town, and I have people saying, Scott, we really appreciate the job you're doing. I walk away from it going, what job am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm just always waiting to get get uncovered.
When you guys had Matt Cavalier on and he was talking about his Scorsese movie and the research and the different states of shopping and the indigenous people being involved, and I was getting nervous. I was listening to this at like 10:30 trying to go to sleep and just having a complete panic like I was prepping the show.
I get the same thing. Have you been reading prop culture? Have you
Oh,
seen-
yeah.
When I do the interviews, a lot of times I've spoken to different prop masters and I've spoken to people over the years, and it actually gives me heart palpitations
100%.
because I'm listening. Like when I hear you talking, and you're talking about prepping these movies, and I'm thinking, how in the world is he pulling it off? And I keep putting myself in that position.
Oh yeah.
And I think when you know what it takes, but yet when you're put in that position, you do it.
Well, yeah, you don't realize you're in that position until
Right.
It's all about how, the adage of boiling a frog,
Yeah.
right? Nobody is going to jump into a project like, I've had more than my fair share of really big, awesome stuff, but I rely on the people around me to be smart and to help.
sure.
And you get an army sometimes on these shows. I mean,
Sure.
the bigger the show, the more you need crew, and the crew is everything.
Right.
And after a couple of big design and manufacture projects, you just sort of understand how to
100%.
do that. I was lucky enough, so I was property mastering for a long time, and I found out that Doug Harlocker was looking for somebody for a day on Indiana Jones 4. And I think I was wrapping The Closer, which was a cop show that was just sucking my soul. It was a wonderful show and a good group of people, but it just wasn't my vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would just love to sweep out a truck for a day to say that I worked on an Indiana Jones movie. And that one day led to on and off about 5 years of assisting Doug Harlocker, who,
amazing.
for those who don't know, is one of the biggest, I think he's just retired, property masters who did everything that you've ever loved watching in science fiction and fantasy and hero. And I mean, just so much wonderful stuff. I learned a lot from him of how to even approach design and fabrication just by watching it, just by being around it. And it's something, once you have that foundation, then I was just budgeting a project that I can't talk about, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to need probably 30 weeks of an illustrator.
See, that makes me nervous right now. I just got nervous.
Why are you nervous? I have to do it.
I know. Because I just put myself in those shoes,
Right.
and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't.
But the thing is that if you were brought into it, you would probably handle it.
Oh,
'Cause
for sure,
It is
for
what
sure.
it is what we do.
Right,
And
there's
it's just on
nothing-
a different scale.
We've ever not been able to do.
Yeah.
It's just.
We actually just because of that reaction, the Property Masters Guild recently held a workshop on design and manufacturing. It was at Studio Art and Technology. Louis Doty was one of the panel members.
Louis.
I was another one, and Guillaume Delouche was another one. And we just sort of talked through the process to take the holy God, how do you approach this out of, to
Right.
demystify
great.
what
That's
this
great.
is, because it's not untouchable. And it in fact, for me now, I'm spoiled that I've gotten to do so much of it
Yeah.
that it bums me out when I don't. On Abbott, we needed a board game, and they'd already done a board game in previous seasons, and they didn't. Abbott Elementary is not a show that does inserts really, because it's that mockumentary style, and and they occasionally will tag things. They're like, the camera dips down to look at it and then it comes back up. So that's not an insert, it's a tag, according to them. I don't know. I didn't make the words up. But it was so much fun to build this board game. I think I spent my entire episode pattern on just this board game, but I was new to the show and I'm just hungry for that kind of design and manufacturing now, because it's really cool when you bring it out and it's on set and it looks gorgeous.
Totally.
And
There is
nothing better.
There is no better feeling than creating something, and it puts you back into third grade art class.
it's play.
When you build something and the producer looks at it, or the showrunner looks at it, the director looks at it, and they are blown away and they tell you so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And as long as I have been doing this, nothing makes me happier on a set than to get complimented for a toy that I built.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a few of those. It's fun.
So you in multicam, you still manufacture. You
Oh, we
have
do
to
a
make
lot.
stuff.
We do a
because
lot.
the writers are creative.
Well, yeah. I mean, generally, they don't need to stay in any kind of realism, so they can think pretty much anything up.
And the world has changed a lot. Now everything from AI to 3D printing
100%.
to what our graphic capability is. I could do more graphically on my prop trailer now than film studios were able to do probably in the mid 90s.
100%. 100%.
So the days of like, do you remember Letraset letters, the little rub-on?
Yeah.
I mean, I still probably have a bunch of old dried out sheets of those, but I remember making business cards and stationery on my prop trailer and then running to a copy shop to make copies of business cards. I know we've probably talked about this before.
Yeah.
But that was, and they were happy with that.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Now everything you do, from magazine covers to stationery to business cards, have to look 100% like real world.
Oh, yeah.
And it's easy to do. It's easy to pull off.
For us.
If you have the right printers and the right skill sets.
Well, the capabilities,
that
the possibility is out there.
Right.
Like making little trinkets that before had to be sculpted, now with 3D printing, their expectations are at a level never before.
We did, and to this point on Abbott, I was called into the AD's office, and the director was there, and they're like, okay, so we have this schedule we're putting together. We were shooting at an abandoned mall, which I think has finally been demolished. And the long and short of it is we needed to turn around a newspaper with a photograph that we take that morning.
Yep.
And then I have
Classic.
3 hours from when we have signed off on the picture to get it back on set, inserted into a Philadelphia Inquirer that looks exactly like a Philadelphia Inquirer. So we do all the prep work. We find Universal Sign Shop was the only place that was going to do newsprint for us and was going to turn around this fast. We do all the layout. We get it to Philadelphia Inquirer and have them sign off on all the fonts and the look and everything with just this one photo that's not there.
Right.
And we ended up turning this newspaper around in 3 hours from photo to set, which is almost unheard of. And 10 years ago, I don't think we could have done it.
No way.
Well, welcome to the sitcom world.
10 years ago would have been about where that was starting to be
and you're just
possible.
like, 3 hours. I could have lunch in the middle of that. That's no problem.
That's where I take some pride in. That's the difference.
One thing,
And that's the invisible flex too. Like that's showing off in a major way, and nobody will notice it if you do it right.
There's a very unfair stereotype that there's a certain reputation for being in features.
That, 100%.
That everybody
100%.
thinks if you could do features, you could do anything. And I used to subscribe to that. And I was doing a lot of features. And then as I started doing more TV and more streaming TV, I started realizing that it's actually the other way around. Because in TV, you're given a week, sometimes a little more, to prep 50, 60 pages. Where on a feature, you have 30 weeks. You're talking 30 weeks just for graphics. So the amount of prep time that you have on a feature is you have far more time per page than you do in television.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now
The expectations,
and that's single camera.
though, and the thing is, like on this newspaper, right? They didn't insert it. They tagged it. They went in and they got it.
They tagged it,
but and when I was saying 30 weeks, that's illustration. So like that's designing all of the guns and necklaces and all the everything of it, that's a lot of time. But if you can't shop any of it and you have to build
for sure
all of it, then you definitely need that lead time.
But now sitcoms, if you have a week, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like we shoot.
So you're pulling off a lot. There's a lot more miracles happening on your end than
Right. Well, we'll shoot a show. Shifting Gears is a Monday, Tuesday show. So we'll shoot in front of an audience Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, we are into a new episode. So it's like, and that weekend's kind of ruined because you don't have the executives to really show stuff before we're shooting on Monday.
Only because I went through this on a series that I did a couple of years ago. What do you do if one of your actors gets sick? What happens if number one can't make it on a Tuesday?
Oh, and it's happened, especially when we had COVID. They rewrite. Really?
But where do you do with the schedule? Because if you're shooting your entire show on a Tuesday and now you can't shoot on a Tuesday, does everything get pushed a week, or do you shoot on Wednesday and now everything gets pushed a day?
Oh yeah. Well,
how do you handle that?
It all depends. If it's your number one where he's in most of the scenes, they'll just stop the show and let him get
here's
healthy.
your hiatus.
You're on hiatus,
and
immediate hiatus, right? And we're exactly.
But even if they miss one day, if they just some number one doesn't show up on Tuesday, when do you film that episode?
We'll try if the ADs and the showrunner think we can shoot it all on Wednesday, then we'll shoot it all on Wednesday.
So then does that put are you now on a pattern of shooting on Wednesdays? Does that just change your?
No. We'll just lose a day rehearsal. It's on a sitcom.
You just have to eat the day.
It's
because your schedule is so tight.
And we're not splitting atoms. It's like I see the directors and I think they're talented in sitcoms and everything, but it's pretty formulaic as far as how you shoot a sitcom. There's three walls and you got your tights, your over, your master, and it's like
there's a grammar to it that's been established since the early days, and so it's stuff that you just expect. And when I say grammar, I mean like the way you edit a show.
For sure, 100%.
You've got your wides, you bring your characters in, and then you pick them off, and you're shooting everything at the same time for the most part.
But there is a difference when you see like a Jimmy Burrows or an Ackerman come in there, where they know they're editing so well. It's the speed in which they shoot the show.
Yeah.
It's like you get the young guys in there and they'll shoot the same scene 15,
over and over
20
and
times. And you got Burrows come in. He'll shoot it once. And if he sees what he sees in editing, fine. Moving on.
He has to have it in his head.
Oh, my God.
At this point, he's been doing it for 50 years.
Victor Gonzalez, one of the great sitcom guys. And Victor, he's great. He's like one of the top sitcom guys. He was a cameraman on Roseanne when we were doing the original.
And so he probably already has, So he's been a part of it for a long time.
He's been around.
Randall Einhorn really surprised me. He's
I loved him.
You know Randall? He's currently EP and directs 50% or more of Abbott Elementary. And on the days that Randall is shooting, we have had multiple occasions where we wrap and they say, "Okay, lunch is ready." But put down a lunch on your time card, even if you go home, because we've literally wrapped in a 4 to 5 hour day because he just knows what he wants.
He's great.
We're shooting this mockumentary style. We are shooting 3 cameras at the same time. We're not doing a ton of pickups. The actors, this was a 5th season. We're about to do 6. The actors know what their characters are. They know what they're going to deliver. And then you get a newer director, and bless them, this show gives a lot of new directors opportunity, which is actually really impressive, because it's important. And they come in and they just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. And
I did a Rob Reiner movie, and we were doing 8-hour days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the big ones, you're quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Eastwood's quick from what I hear. I haven't had the pleasure.
And I did a Christopher Nolan thing, same thing.
Yeah.
8 hours. I thought I was going to make so much money on this movie, big movie, and I'm thinking, wow, this will really help. And I made less on that than I did doing most streaming shows.
When you negotiate, get your 12-hour guarantee.
Well, that's something I come.
But see,
it
never even dawned on me at the time. I just never thought I would be doing 8 hours.
As soon as I heard that, as part of my stepping up onto Abbott, I made sure that everybody who was a regular on my crew got at least a 10-hour guarantee.
For sure. I mean, I come in with 12s and I just say, look at my resume. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But on sitcoms, that's tough for producers because a lot of times our whole week is 36 hours.
Yeah.
How did COVID hurt you guys? Because you guys are all on studio.
we were essential workers, man. We didn't shut down really at all.
But masks and glasses, and in the early
it
day, face
was,
shields.
It was
and,
absurd what we were doing.
We
had masks, shields. We would clean the props, set them on a table. The actors would come, and we were doing the Connors. It was season 3 of the Connors, and it was wild.
I was getting tested twice a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, because I would have to go in on a Sunday
and test for Monday.
Yeah, and at one point I had an overlap of shows during COVID, so I was being tested 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Do you remember
so much nose swabbing?
Oh my God.
Do you remember the machines that ISS had, those cleaning machines?
Oh yeah,
that they were renting?
ultraviolet.
Yeah, those ultraviolet ones. I mean, there was so much tech that came out.
It's amazing though that's already 5 years in the past.
I know,
now.
it's frightening. It's frightening. Time is just.
The older I get, the more bushy my eyebrows go, and the faster
they
time.
used to be.
But what
They
do you
used to
use
be.
when you have the bushy eyebrows? What would you do?
Before?
No, like now.
Oh, I just paint them out in post.
There's no particular product that you could think
Oh,
of.
you're missing
that's
it.
your
Come on,
go-to?
man.
There's probably. I'm not a real product guy.
I mean, you just did a commercial for it.
I did bathe today. Oh well, yeah. I mean now. I thought you were talking about the past.
Man,
no,
we
now.
missed that one.
What's your go-to?
Well, it's of course.
The
it's
advertisers
the
are
brow trim
running.
eyebrow trimmer, and yes,
Right.
they did send me a free one so that I could talk about it. And I'm amazed that they actually were able to get that little built-in comb there that pulls the eyebrows up just perfectly before the razor comes in and just zing. It's really impressive
And
technology.
no nicks, never a nick.
Never a
Never
nick
a nick.
on your eyebrow. You're not bleeding into your eyes, which is good. With some of those, you can go and get the Temu version of this, but I don't recommend it.
Oh no, don't get the Timo.
Makes it hard to see.
I
You
think
get shocked once, you never go back.
we're already in a place now that younger people coming into the business who are post-COVID, they don't realize what it was like. All the whammies we had, COVID and then the various strikes. And it's just an era of our business that those who lived through it will talk to future generations about it, and they'll just never get it. It was like listening to my grandparents talk, everything with my grandparents, and my parents to a lesser extent. Everything was pre-war and post-war. Houses were pre-war, post-war.
Totally.
Do you want something that was post-war? When did this come out? Post-war. And now everything is pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Man, it was tough getting stuff right post-COVID,
Food
Amazon,
scenes were our big
everything.
challenge.
Yeah.
Because we were having to put food out for actors and stay food
that
safe
was-
and extra food safe, because there was also not a lot of information. Like the COVID protocols on sets changed from we have to wear face shields and a mask when you're dealing with an actor, because obviously the actor can't be on set masked. And then I remember when face shields disappeared because they were worried about eye contact. The face shields were for us because we were dealing with uncovered actors. And when they said glasses, I remember I was on Kenobi for this, and they said, okay, well, glasses are okay as long as they have the little side,
you put the little side
things
apparatus
and
on
all of
it.
a sudden everybody's buying side things, and I had
Now,
extras
I only worked on one show through COVID, and in the show's world, COVID never existed. On all of your sitcoms, were you on just the Connors?
No. Connors, and then I did Call Me Cat.
Did any of them? Did COVID exist in any of their world? Like, did any of the actors on camera wear? Do you ever address the fact?
Yeah, actually, my first poster at ISS was the Connors, and they all were wearing masks.
Oh my goodness!
But was that integrated into the
integrated
into the show?
into the
That
show.
wasn't just
Yeah.
to be cute. For
No.
the poster.
It was integrated into the show.
Also, just for perspective for our 11 now, hopefully 12 listeners, is the poster at ISS is, for the longest time, it was sort of the
That was the
highest
MacGuffin.
honor that a property
right,
master
right.
could have. And they have all these halls in this prop house, ISS, Independent Studio Services, and they put up, and it's a rotating gallery of show posters from all the projects that they have people working with them to help bring to fruition. So getting a poster on the wall at ISS is like this badge of honor.
I felt like I had arrived.
Yeah.
When I had my first poster, and I didn't even know it. I had some friend tell me that
is
you have
that
a
right?
poster
Yeah.
up at ISS, and I couldn't wait to get there and see it.
Yeah.
And I finally felt that I was amongst the prop masters whose careers I had always looked up to.
Oh yeah. I used to walk those hallways, and it was a joke with Matt Cavallero and I as we were going through. Like, Matt, you'll never get one of these. You got to get a poster. Then he finally got one for one of those movies, and it was on the floor behind a trash can. So I took a picture, just riding them. But now his posters are pretty solid.
And now we have the MacGuffin Awards.
Now we have the
and
MacGuffin.
It's really, I still am a huge fan of for the people who, I mean, we're right now, this is gonna hit, I don't know. We don't air. What do? We cast, I guess. We're going to cast this pod.
We present.
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah, we're casting. Buckle up. We're going to be really kind of at the end of submissions and right into where we're going to ask our membership to do something very difficult. So please do look through all the submissions. And if you can't watch the shows, and nobody can watch all the shows, take a look at these submissions, because these are property masters that are proud of their work. And this is a peer-reviewed event, which I think is done differently than most other guilds. It's a burden to submit because it's a lot of work to put it together, and it's difficult for the membership to actually consider all the submissions that come in, because we'll hopefully be in the 125 range or something this year.
It's great,
but it's important to do it, because it not only is we're doing this for future generations who are coming up, but it again points to the work that we do and the contributions we make as important in this industry, which I think is new. I think a lot of people have thought of the Property Master and the Key Grip as the same. And you need both of them to get a show
100%.
out. And I'm not saying that our grip friends aren't creative in their work. In fact, they're incredibly creative in their work.
Different kind of creativity.
But it's just... We want to push ourselves more in the art side of our contributions.
And we shouldn't have to even apologize for that. Everybody has a job that's equally as valuable, but there are jobs on a movie set that are more creative than others in an artistic sense.
Right.
A grip job, you could not make a movie without a grip, and they're equally as important to any prop person.
And incredibly creative in the way that they rig.
Right, but
100%.
totally different mindset, totally different job, and one is not better than the other.
No, of course not.
I could never, when I was PAing, I remember treating it like, and I've used this example before, it's a good thing when you only have 11 listeners, because they usually are not the same 11 every time, so you could tell the same stories over and over again. But when I was PAing, I remember thinking in my head that it was like being in summer camp, and I have to choose the activity. And I remember the first couple days, I was like, there's no world where I'm going to be a grip. I'm never going to be an electric.
You kind of have a grip vibe, though. I mean, if I was gonna, I'm just saying, like, if I just saw you out there without looking at your belt, not your gear belt, right? If I just saw you on a set, I could say, like, yeah, I could see key grip here.
See, but at least key grip.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're old, so you have to be in charge.
Yeah. But it's just, I just remember the work that they were doing. I remember watching guys winding cable.
Oh, yeah.
And the stuff they had to do, I knew I was never going to do it. And just like what you were calling upon when you were a kid, how you were always tinkering and building puppets. And I remember, I was the kid who was always able to build plastic models as good as the picture on the box.
Yeah.
So props was just where I went. And my mother would always say that to my wife, going, from the time he was a little kid, he always had Matchbox cars and little green army men in his pocket, and was always building tree houses. And it's a calling.
For sure.
What would you do if you were not a property master? I mean, other than
or a
rock and roll
player.
superstar.
20 to life. No, I'm just kidding.
So you were either a go to prison or prop by the judge.
Pretty much.
Is there a project, past, present, or future, that you would love to or have loved to have worked on?
Well, I learned my most as a prop master when we were doing these kid shows, because the kid shows, there was no reality. Anything was possible. And we were building like trash arcs that were coming through like a cafeteria band with just spaghetti and dishes all over, just total chaos, craziness. We had a robot called Fit. Oh, this was really humbling experience. We had a robot. It was the main character in this one episode on Shake It Up. And we got the guts of one of these robots you could buy, and we took it to, I forget the company, it's been so long ago, but we reprogrammed it. We rebuilt certain aspects of it so it was our own. And I had this thing in the prop room, and I could make it do anything. Lie down, get up, wave, eyes would change colors, all to cue. Everything was great. I came out of my prop room with my chest so out there. And we had Shelley Jensen was directing, who is typically a yeller. And I came out and I was like, this is going to be the greatest thing. Put this robot in front, I turn it on, and it just starts doing all this weird stuff. It's caught up in all the RF.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have all the RF interference on set.
And it won't do anything I want. This guy is screaming at me, and it won't do anything. The lights are going red, blue, and I'm on my back in front of the cameras trying to get as close to it, trying to get anything I can out of this thing, while he just had no problem screaming. And
radio frequency
the screaming helps.
The RF frequency interference on sets is dramatic because like everybody, if there's a boom, even God forbid, you've got the boom op and they've got their own RF system to communicate just for this boom. And then you've got everything else going on. And all of our sound stages are built like Faraday cages. You're in a wire cage, so it just chews up signal. It's why radios, when I ever bring in anything electromechanical to set, I'm bringing some of these aircraft radios that are good for, they'll push a signal really, really reliably for over a mile. And everybody's asking, like, well, you're never going to get that far away from this thing. Why do you need a mile? And I'm like, I don't need a mile. I need the power to punch through all of the RF garbage.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a robot that we built on shifting gears last
Did you get it to work?
Yeah, well, knowing what I know now, we went on a different wave.
Okay.
Did you instantly
change the frequency?
Yeah.
When the robot wasn't working, did it instantly hit you what the problem was?
No, I had no clue. I was young. I didn't really. Yeah. It was working great in the prop room, and it's just on the other side of the wall. But
so more back to Brad's question: if any movie or TV show in history, like, is there anything that you wish you could have been a part of?
No.
This is our character piece.
Yeah. No. I mean,
like for me, it was the original Planet of the Apes.
Well, my dad did the marketing on that.
To me, it'd be The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. So it's just
okay. I see what you're saying. It's going to sound silly, but one of my favorite movies was Fletch.
What a great movie. Yeah. Can I borrow your towel? My car just hit a water buffalo. Yeah. Do you like that I can just quote Fletch?
Yeah.
Just John Tuxton.
I had that one.
That was the greatest. Yeah, I would have loved to have done that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chevy Chase was great back then. I hear he's a handful these days.
Oh, I think he was even more of a handful.
Was he? Yeah.
I've not had the pleasure, but I'd go toe to toe with him just to be in the room.
But I mean, I've just been blessed really with crews. My crews have been over the years.
How long have they been with you? The crew that you have now?
The crew that I have now is pretty new, just on and actually Tracy's been with me for like the last 5 years. Tracy Deanda and her son Raven is the third. Great. Super solid.
Tracy is
my onset, my assistant. And she's just a go-getter. You don't have to tell her what to do. She's a self-starter.
She just knows the job.
Totally. And she's great with the cast, and she lets me do all the executive schmoozing and all that stuff, and she's great. And prior to that, I was with Mike Warga and Susan Cho, who I was with for majority of my career. And
it's so important
they retired.
To acknowledge the fact that, and I overuse this phrase, but we ride on the shoulders of giants with what we do, because it's not possible with one person. Although it sounds like it's mostly possible with one person with you. You're doing a lot of work for these shows.
Oh, no.
With very little crew.
Not a lot of crew, but there's a lot that people are brought into.
If they weren't there, we'd just be floundering.
I am nothing. I have the title prop master, and I still question it to this day after 30 years of it. I rely so heavily on my crew and the professionals around me that do the 3D printing, that do all of this stuff.
The support stuff and our staff, the vendors that we use, everybody. We're not doing this by ourselves.
That was a big point of our episode with Nikki from the saleswoman from ISS. I feel like that's my home office.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, and also when we talked to Alfonso Ramirez and Livy Dom, just acknowledging how important our assistants are for us. So
100%. All the people at ISS, Jokey at Studio Graphics, Tyler over there, amazing.
Yeah. Tyler's been my salesperson now, and Tyler's father, Carl, was my salesperson when he was younger than Tyler is now.
Oh, okay. And then the guys at Ham Prop Room, Nathan and all those guys over there, they're solid people.
How long has Nathan been there?
Nathan's been there as long as I've been here, so he's been 30 years or so.
Well, look, I think this is a beautiful note. We're out of time for today, but I love this little